that's where certainly our minds are this morning. We'll be out here today for practice. Not in pads today, so we'll be back in pads tomorrow. Can't go 3 in a row. We'll be doing a lot of situational work today, a lot of 2-minute today, as we continue down our installation schedule. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Kevin, with the quarterbacks, you expect the rotation to be very much similar along the lines of what it was yesterday?
Yeah, I'd say similar. Again, continuing to mix and match.
And when you say can't go 3 pads in a row, that's a rule, right?
Correct.
Kevin, it looked like Grant yesterday wasn't in team drills. Is he okay? Or?
Just you'll see throughout the camp we're limiting some of our veteran players for various reasons. A couple guys will be limited today, but we'll just they're still getting good work done.
That's kind of like the deal with Jack and.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
How the guys like Quinshon and the quarterbacks too handle the redistribution of reps with some guys out, some guys like working their way back as a whole?
One more time.
How the guys as a whole, how have they kind of responded to the distribution of reps, getting more of a workload?
Yeah, honestly, our guys come out here and I think their focus is on what's in front of them and what their job is on every single play. There's a lot of these training camp practices as we get in the dog days of this thing. They'll start to run together for the guys. There's so many walkthroughs, so we're throwing a lot at them. Even this morning, there's a lot of newness for these young players. Some of the older guys have been around some of the concepts we're talking about, but there's a lot of work that's done in the meeting room, mental work that's done that it can be a lot for these guys, but they're doing a nice job.
Hey, Kevin, when you see, I know you guys talk about gambling, or the league talks about avoiding gambling. You see something like what the Guardians have, is that a cause to emphasize it again?
It is. I mean, it's honestly, Scott, you kind of want to hit these things every single day, and we do hit versions of it every single day, but gambling is definitely one that we've gone above and beyond to communicate to our guys, as you know, because it's something that's real. It's something that's affecting not just our sport, and it's affecting all sports, including college and pros, coaches, players, officials. So this is something that we're going to try to stay on top of.
And on your list of worries, which I'm pretty sure is long, is that on there somewhere?
It's on there. It is.
Kevin, when it seemed there was an emphasis on inside runs yesterday, it was on the script, and to see whether you can pan out with inside runs. Can you do that partially to establish physicality on the day?
We really didn't, Tony. We're in our installation schedule, so yesterday was some more of our gap scheme runs that typically are inside runs, but we had a decent amount of outside runs as well. We didn't get out there very often because the D-line was living in the backfield. We're continuing on the installation with both offense and defense. Really, I'd say over the next couple of days, and then we'll be through our installs, and then the coaches will kind of move around. But I think you'll see more and more situational football start popping up here today, tomorrow, and as we go.
You mentioned the defense being in the backfield a lot yesterday, the defensive line rather. When there's those plays where it's pretty obvious, like there's a sack on it, but then they sort of play through, how do you sort of evaluate those when it all comes?
Yeah, I think I pointed out this morning, I thought our D-line has done a really nice job. They're going to, at times, beat an offensive player. They're going to have a free path to the quarterback, and then they're going to take a right turn and get out of the way, or a left turn and get out of the way, because we obviously have to stay away from those quarterbacks. But what we ask them to do is put on tape what they're doing. We see them win and then get out of the way. So the quarterback, it may be fool's gold that there's a play to be had, but we want the quarterback to continue to play, and then that lets the receivers, the tight ends, the QB get a rep, even though in all likelihood the player would have been sacked, for instance.
Kevin, with Joe now getting more, for any quarterback, but especially a guy veteran like that, how much is that, can he maybe get in a little more rhythm, and maybe do you see maybe the play improve because of the more extended,
Potentially, yeah. I think quarterbacks all of them would love every rep they could get. I think that's obvious. But, playing this position and as a backup quarterback, holy.
Oh my God.
Like I was saying, Chris. Backup quarterbacks are used to going in a game with no reps. So that's part of the role of QBs in general, is just to be ready with, at a moment's notice. So, but I do think Joe, with of course, more reps, just like Dylan with more reps, Shador with more reps, you get more comfortable as you get more turns in it.
Kevin,
It's not related to your follow-up.
Well, do you want to use that that as a drill for quarterbacks of what
Yeah, you gotta be able to hit the curveball, right?
Kevin, we heard from Martin today, and he talked about being frustrated last year and never feeling like he was necessarily 100%. Just how have you seen him work through that? And it seems like he's come back with a different or new sort of like mentality.
He's got the right mentality. He'll have a bounce back here because he's worked his butt off. I'm confident in the young man.
Kevin, we talked to you, Jimmy, today, and they talked about the importance of seeing these rookie quarterbacks in game situations. Is that something you guys have discussed? Do you have a plan for that? Or is that just too far down the road to do?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten too far down the road in where we are right now. Obviously, we're discussing preseason games and the practices versus Carolina and Philly and those type of things.
Hey, Kevin, we were
to the point of mentioning your age, that implication being young coach still developing. How young do you feel?
Yeah, not very. I sent my daughter a picture of me the other day, and I said I think I'm aging at a exponential clip, but she said I wasn't. I have tried to convince her that this is blonde and not green, but that hasn't worked either. But no, I mean, yeah. How do I feel? I feel great. I feel excited and privileged to coach this football team, and I'm excited about this practice.
How different are you as a coach than you were when you first started?
I hope I've learned from every year, certainly. So, the thing about our sport, which I love, I know our fans love, is you can't predict this. It's not scripted, I think. And it's the greatest reality show there is. So we as coaches and players, we have to be prepared to navigate anything and everything that comes our way, and that's the fun part of our business.
Kevin, when we were talking to Martin Emerson earlier today, he said that he played injured last year, and perhaps he should have taken the game or so off. How do you deal with that with players? I know you don't want guys being hurt, but
it's definitely a balance. You always are trying to protect the player from himself. We'll never put a guy out there if he's not able to protect himself. And then it's that fine line where guys play injured, whether it's injured, hurt, whatever word you want to use. Like that's how guys have played this game for a long time. We'll never do that where there's something that would need to protect themselves from them. But I'm not surprised a guy like MJ is going to play through injuries, because the truth is no one's feeling 100% once you get through a couple of practices and training.
Kevin, as a week specifically, when it's important to see the two rookies during the season, the future decision on next year's draft. And he said, absolutely, he said, Kevin knows that too. So I'm wondering, you've had 9 quarterbacks start the last 2 years. Do you think the natural attrition of the season will take care of that?
Yeah, I would tell you I'm really not there right this minute. It is still July. It feels like July. So we'll just keep the focus on that.
Any injury updates?
Nothing other than to say everybody's doing a nice job. So we're getting close. Yes, he'll do a little bit more. Yeah.
Kevin, when you look at a coach like Deuce that's very high energy, really interactive with the guys out there, says he lives vicariously through them because he can't be out there playing anymore. What is it where guys maybe like Dylan Sampson, some of these younger guys, what can they learn from him? Why do they gravitate to him?
Yeah, Deuce brings it every single day in the rooms, in the meeting rooms, out here on the field. He's so competitive. He's been a great resource for me he's a former player. He's been through all this. He's played this game at a high level. He's obviously had different stops at coaching, so I rely on him heavily. But he's a guy that is never afraid to share with anybody what's on his mind, and I think the players appreciate that about him.
He told us today that he never saw himself coaching. He didn't expect to be coaching. Does that surprise you?
It does. It does in the sense that he has such a big impact on this building, and not just the running back room. I think he's a guy that a lot of these guys, when you play this game at a high level, like Deuce has, and they have the experience going through a lot of the things that these guys are going through, I think they naturally lean on a guy like that.
The hit by
Couple more.
on Samson evoked a lot of noise yesterday. The hit by Sweat.
Yeah.
What it looked like on tape?
Yeah, it was good, clean hit. That's what we're doing right now. We're not doing it today because we're not in pads, but if we're not live, we're in thud, which means we're thudding up the runner, and that was a good rep for Dylan Sampson to learn from, to keep his center of gravity as low to the ground as he can.
What about player development? How do coaches get developed?
Yeah, it's a long answer, but I try to be very intentional about coaches' development among our staff. There's things that we do in the off season. There's things that I do throughout the year to make sure that I'm doing my part in developing our coaches. So in some ways I have a curriculum and how we're trying to do that. But the greatest way to get developed, at least as I've been around, is being exposed to different coaches. And we have some really good coaches that like to share with each other and sit in meeting rooms and put the tape on and go back and forth from offensive and defensive perspectives. And I think there's great value in a staff that pushes each other both in how you see the game and also just maybe some of your shared histories.
On those plays that are sacks, since we ignore you and keep stats and all that anyway,
Yeah.
should we count those? Should we not count
Sure.
those?
Count them. Who cares? Good?
We're good.
Good.
Thank you.